Hi there. Please fix up my writing for your audience. Writing is not my thing. Driving through the Nevada desert at night is something I've done more times than I can count. I'm used to the solitude, the long stretches of empty highway with nothing but the hum of the engine and the occasional crackle of the CB radio to keep me company. It's peaceful, in a way, just me and the road. That night wasn't any different, at least at first. The stars above were as clear as I'd ever seen them, the desert stretching out endlessly. The only sound was the steady rhythm of the tires on the asphalt, and the glow of my dashboard lights was the only thing breaking the darkness inside the cab. I sipped my coffee, already lukewarm, and kept my eyes on the road ahead. That's when I saw it, a flicker of light on the horizon. At first, I didn't think much of it, probably just a tower beacon, I figured, or maybe a plane heading toward Vegas. Nothing unusual. But as I kept driving, the light caught my attention again. It wasn't steady, like a tower beacon should be. It pulsed, almost like it was alive, and then it started to move. Not the smooth, straight path of a plane or helicopter, but erratic, almost jittery movements, left, right, up, and down. I leaned forward, squinting through the windshield. My first thought was maybe I was just tired, that my eyes were playing tricks on me, but the light was still there, pulsing and dancing in ways that made no sense. The further I drove, the brighter it became, and the more I realized this wasn't something I'd ever seen before. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end. Whatever it wasn't normal. The light didn't just stay on the horizon. It moved. It started heading straight toward me, fast and deliberate, like it had locked onto me. My heart began to race as the glow grew brighter and brighter, flooding the road ahead and erasing the desert landscape from view. Before I could even think to pull over, the light swallowed my truck whole. It wasn't just bright, it was overwhelming. I couldn't see anything outside the cab, not even the hood of the truck. My heart pounded as a deep, resonant hum filled the air, vibrating through the steering wheel and into my chest. Then the truck lifted. I swear to you, the entire rig left the ground. The sensation was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. Weightlessness, like I was floating. My coffee cup slid off the dashboard and hung in midair for a second before drifting toward the passenger seat. I clung to the wheel, though it felt useless, as the humming grew louder and deeper. I couldn't even process what was happening. My mind kept screaming at me to figure it out, to do something, but there was nothing I could do. I was completely at the mercy of whatever was out there. And then, just as suddenly as it had started, it was over. The light vanished, and the truck slammed back onto the road with a jarring thud. My head snapped forward, and the cab rattled like it might come apart. The hum was gone, replaced by the deafening silence of the desert night. For a few moments, I just sat there, my hands locked on the wheel and my breath coming in shallow gasps. Everything felt wrong, off in a way I couldn't put into words. I glanced at the dashboard and froze. The clock showed 3:27 a.m. 3 hours. 3 hours had somehow passed since I'd last looked at the clock. I turned on my high beams and scanned the road around me. It didn't look familiar. The landmarks I'd been following were gone, replaced by a stretch of highway I didn't recognize. Somehow, I wasn't where I was supposed to be. Shaken and confused, I pulled over to the side of the road and tried to gather my thoughts. What had just happened? How had I lost hours of time, and how had I ended up somewhere else entirely? My chest felt tight, my hands shaking on the wheel. All I knew was that whatever I had experienced wasn't normal, and I wasn't alone. As I sat there on the side of the road, heart racing and hands trembling, I couldn't stop myself from thinking about my dash cam. Maybe, just maybe, it had captured something, but when I checked it, my stomach dropped. The footage was gone, all of it. The memory card was intact, the device still powered on, but everything from the time I first saw the light to when I pulled over was nothing but corrupted static. No sound, no image, just an eerie, unbroken buzz that made my skin crawl. I rewound it, fast-forwarded it, tried every setting I could think of, but there was nothing. It was as if those hours had been wiped clean from existence. Whatever had happened, it left no trace behind, no proof that it had ever occurred. The lack of evidence should have comforted me, I suppose. If there was nothing to show anyone, then I didn't have to explain what happened. But instead, it gnawed at me. If even my dash cam couldn't make sense of it. I haven't told anyone about that night. Who would believe me? A trucker claiming he was lifted off the ground by a strange light, and lost hours of time. It sounded crazy, even to me. Without proof, it felt easier to just keep quiet. And yet, I can't forget it. Every time I'm out on those dark, lonely highways, the memories creep back in. The pulsing light, the humming, the weightlessness, all of it replays in my mind, as vivid as the moment it happened. I don't know if it'll happen again. A part of me hopes it doesn't, but another part fears it already has, to someone else. Maybe they're out there right now, sitting on the side of some desolate road, trying to make sense of the impossible, just like I was. If you found this story intriguing, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our latest uploads. Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your take. Thanks for watching.